I am back here at the factory in Fremont where Tesla once again is taking care of me. Last time we got to check out the Model 3 and drive that around for a little bit, getting to see all the new changes that they've done with that. Today they are hooking me up with the Cybertruck. We're going to take it today in the next couple days, get to try it out with the family. We're going to take a road trip to my wife's work and then the comic book store, let the kids and the wife see FSD for the very first time. Tomorrow I'm going to take it to San Francisco for a Chempower event. We're going to try full self-driving and see how it does going over the Bay Bridge and Bay Area traffic and just kind of put it through its paces. So stay tuned. Let's see what trouble we get into. Don't forget, if you find yourself in the market for a new Tesla, you can check out my referral link in the description, and that will give you discounts for a Tesla of your own. You can go to any kind of showroom, and they will have lots of demo drives available. You can see all the different vehicles here in Fremont. Everything you could possibly want to drive is here. So if you want to do a drive of your own, schedule it, check it out, and when you go to purchase, use my referral link for discounts.
Welcome to Bo Family EV. I hope you'll like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Let's go.
All right, guys, you join me in the Cybertruck where I am going to be checking out the FSD for the next few days. We're going to start off with just a basic trip to Walgreens where I need to pick up something for the family. And then from there, we're going to head home. And then we're going to meet up with my wife and kids. We're going to take the Cybertruck over to her work. We're going to then take it to the comic book store, take it out to dinner, and then head home for the evening. So let's see how it does with FSD. Tesla is going to lead the way here. It's got the right turn signal on. That's going to be interesting because you can't really get out of this parking lot by turning right. It's blocked off on the other side. So let's see if the Cybertruck gets confused here. I have a feeling it might. There are some people here walking in front, so you can see the visualization here. And I think that is currently in its way. Let's get the rear view mirror out of the way there. The steering wheel is turning, so it's thinking about making a move here. You can hear the four-wheel steer creaking as it goes. It's definitely a little hesitant. Another Cybertruck here is getting ready to pull out on our right-hand side that you're going to see here. So it's definitely being a little cautious. It is cool to see the suspension working on the Cybertruck here when it's raised up that way. So here we go. Let's see how it handles this adventure. I'm a little curious because it's trying to go straight and it's gonna find there's a wall there. This is all right. I'm gonna intervene because I do think it would have hit that wall. Let's hit reverse. And let's back this thing up. That was an awesome first attempt. So interesting. It did not recognize that red barrier, that fence was there. So that is a fascinating first few seconds with FSD. Let's take and give it a little bit of help here. Let's get it where it's not.
Turn right onto Cato Road.
Let's get it where it's not facing into the sun. Let's get it where there's not some awkward barriers going. And let's give it another shot, FSD. What do you say we take two on this adventure? Nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging. Here we go. And it was on its own turf. It's literally at the factory. So put down this visor here. And we are on our way. We are now leaving the Tesla factory. It is doing it of its own accord. And let's see how it goes. We've got a new Tesla Model Y coming in here on the left-hand side. And I really wanted to pick up a new Model Y and borrow that for a few days, but it's in such high demand right now it just wasn't realistic for me to take that for 3 days. So the Cybertruck was available though, so that will still be fun. I'm really excited to have my wife and kids experience the full self-driving. I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn off that voice because that's not gonna be necessary. It's giving me verbal instructions for something that it's driving, so it's like it's talking to itself. All right, we're turning onto Cato Road. But yeah, I thought it would be really interesting to let my wife try the Model Y. It's going to be much more of a vehicle that she would be likely to want. So I thought it would be a better representation for her. But in this case, it'll still be fun to let her and the kids see full self-driving. It's not something that they have seen. And regardless of whether it's Tesla or another manufacturer, I do strongly feel like this is the future. You know, we are in the stage. If you're like me and you were born back in the 19th century, the 1900s, I should say, not the 19th century.
In 500 feet, turn left onto Industrial Drive.
All right, why are you talking to yourself? But yeah, if you were like me and you're from the 1900s, you can remember a time when cell phones started off as a big brick, something that was really expensive and only a few people had. And I kind of think full self-driving is kind of
Left onto Industrial Drive.
in that stage where it's incredibly expensive at $8,000. I mean, it was even more expensive than that originally. But I do think it's a commodity, and I think the price of that is going to come down as it already has, and I do think it will be ubiquitous. You were already seeing in China where BYD and Huawei and Xiaomi, they're already doing types of full self-driving. And of course, there's Waymo, totally different technology there, where you're talking about something that's geo-fenced. We've seen things with Blue Cruise and Super Cruise with Chevy, which use highway driving, hands-off, eyes on highway driving, but that's just not at the same level as full self-driving at all. So we are waiting to get out of the parking lot. I'm going to take during parts of this and kind of give my commentary as it's appropriate, and then in other parts of it I'm going to kind of time lapse or fast forward through because I can't play music and without being copywritten. So I'll give my thoughts as they occur to me, and then I'll kind of fast forward through the rest so that you guys aren't bored with that. I do think people behind me are going to get annoyed, so I am going to give it a nudge here. I think it saw the traffic in front of me and
left onto Fremont Boulevard.
Didn't want to move forward. I'm not sure why. So that's two what I would call unnatural.
500 feet, take the Interstate 880 ramp on the right toward Oakland.
I would say that's two unnatural acts on its part.
Now take the Interstate 880 ramp on the right.
That sounds way worse than I meant it to when I say an unnatural act. But yeah, two things that it drove differently, certainly, than I would have. So, again, not the end of the world, but in the first few minutes, I think it definitely shows some gaps there, where, for example, in a robo-taxi environment, the first one especially would not have been seen as acceptable. So we're getting on to 880 North, and we're going to enjoy this drive hands-free, and let's see how it goes. So in this area here, traffic started to slow down, and you can see that the Cybertruck put the blinker on and went around the slower traffic on its own, which is something that's pretty cool. For those that don't know, just kind of giving you a viewpoint of the screen here, on the left-hand side, it kind of shows the visualization. It's really good. It actually shows the other side of the freeway as well. So it's really nice to be able to look at this and see all the vehicles around you. It's oddly reassuring for some reason, even though you're not really looking at the screen that much. It's cool to look down and see the different vehicles, and if there were pedestrians on a more city traffic area, you would see the pedestrians, trucks, all those types of things visualized here. There is the rear view mirror here. This one is all but useless. It obviously needs to be there, I guess, for regulatory reasons. This should really be swapped out with a video camera one if possible, but otherwise this works. You just have to get used to looking down at it. You can move this around over here if you want. It gets a little bit smaller. I personally prefer it to be bigger on that side there, but it's your choice. There's also some different settings for FSD. You can see up in this area, it's going to tell you current speed, 72 miles an hour. I went in and gave it a 10% offset, and right now it's standard. There's also chill and not sporty, but I can't remember what the other one's called. It's a little bit more aggressive. But you can always change that. You can bump using the steering wheel here, buttons. You can take and move your speed up by simply scrolling up. You can move to the right to hurry is what it's called here, to change your mode to hurry, which means it's a more aggressive kind of full self-driving. And then I can go back to the left for standard, go back to the left again for chill. Here we got a Ford Lightning here on our right-hand side. Shout out Ford Lightning. How are you, buddy? Good to see one of my brothers with the blue oval. So here you can see that it's going to now pull in front of the Ford Lightning. I'm not exactly sure why it did that. Maybe because it was detecting some traffic behind us. It's actually trying to pull over one more time. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't think I directed it to do that. So I'm kind of curious why it's making that choice, to be honest. Maybe I slowed down a little bit too much. Maybe because it's in chill. Maybe that's what it is. Like I've put it in chill mode. So it's coming over here to the right-hand side. Let's test that theory for a bit, because I am in chill. But let's take and use the scroll wheel here, and you can move it to the right. And let's put it back over to hurry. And sure enough, it does go now, and it's going to be in a little bit more of a hurry. People are going to think I'm crazy watching me go all the way over to the right and now make my way back over to the left. Here comes that Ford Lightning again, probably thinking, what in the world is this crazy Cybertruck driver doing? But yeah, now I've moved it into hurry mode, and I suspect it will try to move over to the fast lane again. And sure enough, it is. Got a nice yellow Corvette coming up behind me. Lots of great cars around the Bay Area freeways, of course. So yeah, that was really cool. That was a learning experience for me. So there is normal, hurry, and chill. If I put it in chill mode, it looks like it tends to gravitate towards the right-hand slower lane. And if I'm in a hurry, it's gonna gravitate to the left-hand fast lane. So yeah, that's good to know. Good to see. Glad we can learn that together, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the right turn signal. That's gonna put the blinker on. There is that Corvette behind us, so it doesn't feel like it's safe to move over. So it turned the blinker off, and it's gonna wait until it is safe to change lanes. So good move by the Cybertruck. Let's see, now that that truck is behind, will it initiate the lane change, or will it need me to do it? I do believe it's gonna need me to do it, so I'm gonna go ahead and press the button. And now it feels safe to do so. It's going to go ahead and move over. That Expedition is going to change spots with us. And then just for the fun, I think I'm going to move this over from hurry to standard, just so that it doesn't feel the temptation to kick back over there again into the fast lane. I don't know that it would have or not. But yeah, as we approach the exit here in 2.5 miles, I figured no harm in being here in the center lane. And I did want to show you, if you want to manually change the lanes and tell it whether that's to go to the right or to the left, either way, you can just initiate that on the steering wheel and it's good to go. All right, so it's time to exit the freeway. You can see the Cybertruck is on its own, changing lanes, starting to move over here to the right-hand side to prepare for that. We're about 0.7 miles away from the off-ramp. It's not heavy traffic, but it's not light traffic either. The Bay Area never really seems to have light traffic. So here, as we pass this vehicle on our right, it's going to look for the spot, which it chose well. Kind of pulls itself right in here behind this Toyota Prius. And let's see how it does here with the off-ramp area. And this is where we start to get into a little bit more of a challenge, right? Because to this point, we're really just talking about hands-free freeway driving. Not all that dissimilar from what, Ford, Chevy, some of the others can do. It is different. It is different now in that it is taking action, right? It is changing lanes.
In 500 feet, bear right onto Hesperian Boulevard.
For the purposes of
right onto Hesperian Boulevard.
killing me navigation. For the purposes of the route plan. So in Ford's case and Chevy's case, it can do lane changing, but it's not taking you to a destination. It's just trying to keep up with the flow of traffic. So here in this case, it is fully taken the off-ramp, which Ford and Chevy will not do unless it's an accident. If your Ford or Chevy takes the off-ramp, that's probably not a good thing. But in Tesla's case, it is actively taking you to a destination. Even though it's called full self-driving, it's really important that you're always paying attention. So here we go. It's showing a green light and it is hesitating. I'm going to give it a nudge. Again, we had a yellow light there and it was probably erring on the side of safety.
Now turn left onto Luling Boulevard.
And I didn't want to wait there, so I'm going to give it a push of that button once again. It's gonna take the safe choice again here with the yellow light. I can't fault them for that. That is the safer way to go. But in both of those cases, I'll be honest, I'd have gone right through that yellow light there and made the turn. And of course, back there I did. So it saw the yellow as a moment of caution, and it took that call to action to go ahead and stop. So I don't think I would have done that, but I'm not going to call that a disengagement or a fault against it. It is the safest of the options available, and overall, it's going to make for a safer experience and a safer drive. So not going to fault it for making that choice. All right, here we go. Funny, we have a Cybertruck behind us, and dueling Cybertrucks here. Let's get that back where the sun is. Let's see how it handles this sun coming at it. So far, so good. Little bit on that left turn. It wasn't the smoothest of turns, but it handled it okay. And now we got our Cybertruck buddy here on the right-hand side. It's got to be a cool shot to just see two Cybertrucks kind of heading down the road together. The future, it's here and now. Hey, Cybertruck pal. All right, let's see how it goes into this Walgreens parking lot right after this red light here. Let's see how it handles this. There's not really a turn lane here. Give it a little hello to the Cybertruck buddy here to our right-hand side. There's not really a turn lane here into the Walgreens, so I'm curious if it's going to try to turn left at the stoplight, if it's going to try to make a U-turn, or if it is going to try to turn left into the parking lot from a... This is exactly what I would do, by the way. I would turn left into this parking lot, but this isn't technically a turn lane, so I'm not sure if this is the correct move or not. It is, once again, exactly what I would have done and what I've always done when I go into the Walgreens. So I was curious, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to try this out too. I thought it was a good test, but it pulled that off just fine. All right, we're going to disengage here, and we'll pick it back up on the way home. All right, so the Walgreens line was way too long, so I've gone ahead and set the navigation to home, and we're going to let the Cybertruck take us back home on FSD. Let's see how it handles this car here that's about to cut it off. It handled it well. All right, good job, Cybertruck and FSD. New Model Y here with the new light bar there right in front of us. And let's head back. And just more time, more of a challenge for the Cybertruck. The more times I get to let it drive and experience FSD, the better. I enjoy all of it. So kind of a wasted trip to the Walgreens. Way too long of a line. So we'll head back home because I want to pick up the wife and kids before it gets too dark. So we can get some more video of it taking us to her work and then taking us to the comic book store. And then we need to hit up dinner before it gets too late here. It is getting close to the evening time. So let's head home. So this ought to be an interesting intersection. It's really hard to see around this almost blind corner. So that was interesting to watch it kind of come to a stop, nudge forward a little bit, make sure that it could see around the corner exactly like I would have to do. And once it did and saw it was clear, it moved itself out into the road and then over here to the turn lane for the freeway. So that was a really good job by FSD and how it handled that. I do really enjoy seeing the visualization here when we get to intersections. You can see all the red lights over here, and now that it turns green, you can see them all turn green. I don't know why I find that so incredible and just so awesome, but I really do. Even here on the on-ramp itself, there is a metering light. California, we have these where it goes yellow, green, red for metering so that it can let people kind of... They got confused there. It got confused because the light turned green, then red, then a car to our left kind of jotted out there. Another Ford Lightning, shout out Lightning there in front of us, just passing by. But yeah, that was interesting, but it handled it well. You have those different dynamics in play where the light is turning on a certain rhythm, and then a car to our left kind of jumped the gun there, and then it hesitated, found itself the safe way to proceed, and it did so. So again, good job. You can see how this could be a much safer form of transportation if, 95% of people were driving with some form of this full self-driving. You can only imagine it's going to get better from here. But especially when you're in Bay Area traffic, you can see here we're coming up on that Ford Lightning, interestingly, and you can see we're coming up on all this Bay Area traffic, which is super common. One of the reasons I really am able to get away with having a standard range Lightning with a lower range is because this is so common in the Bay Area. And in fact, I think because the traffic is the way it is, I'm going to go ahead and kick over to the hurry mode from standard because I do want it to be a bit more aggressive here and not languish in the traffic. So to the extent that it can go to the fast lane, I'd like to see it go to the fast lane, and it is doing so quite well. So once again, great job by FSD maneuvering over to the fast lane, which isn't very fast here in the Bay Area. So here we are doing 20 miles an hour, less than that now, but that's again, that's Bay Area traffic for you. So even my Ford Lightning that's rated, oh yeah, gotta love that gas vehicle noise. I don't know if that'll come through on the microphone, but yeah, lots of noise there from the diesel truck. So even with my rating being, 240 miles of range, I commonly get more than that because I'm driving in commute traffic like this, driving around town. I'm not ripping down the freeway at 80 miles an hour by any means. So more than enough range for me. When I do the long distance trips like the one I did to Vegas or Long Beach or San Diego earlier this year, I do have one coming up to Arizona. That's where you definitely notice the short range, and that's where it really impacts you because at that point with freeway speeds and long distance driving, it's really cutting my practical range down to about 170, 180 miles because, you don't want to go, especially with your family in the car, you don't want to, get down to 2%. You don't want to freak anybody out there, and you also don't really want to charge ideally not higher than 80, but I'll charge up to 90 pretty commonly, again because I do have that short range standard range battery. 90% isn't so bad, and it gives me sometimes a little extra to get me to skip a charging stop. So I will do that, especially with the kids and using the bathroom and getting some food. It all kind of works out. It's not the worst thing in the world. And then I try to either get like an Airbnb or a hotel or something with charging at the destination if possible. And it's not always possible, but Disneyland had chargers, the hotel in Vegas had chargers, Legoland had chargers, the hotel that we're staying at coming and going from Arizona, that has chargers literally in the parking lot. So whenever possible, that certainly makes it easier. It allows you to arrive at a low state of charge and then allows you to leave with 100% state of charge. So anytime you can plan for that logistically, it's going to be a benefit. So let's continue this journey home. So here we are getting ready to exit the freeway. It's moving its way over just like I would. We do have a CHP officer here on the side of the road, just kind of keeping an eye on things. Hey there, Mr. CHP. Let's see how it does here on this off-ramp. There's nothing really dramatic or difficult about this. We do have an emergency vehicle here on the left. Doesn't really need to take any action about that, but wasn't sure how that would visualize. Didn't really visualize any differently on the FSD screen here. Just kind of saw it as another vehicle. It would be cool if they had a little special light bar on top of the vehicle to identify it as police. That would be kind of fun. You can definitely hear the motor whine a bit, a lot more than the Lightning for sure. And that's one of those areas that you either love it or you don't care, or you like it being quiet. I really appreciate, I don't know if it's going to pick that up on the microphone, that sound as it decelerates and accelerates, that motor whine. Some people really enjoy that. I enjoy the quieter ride of the Lightning, but that's not unusual, that sound. I hear it quite a bit in the Rivian and the Lucid. It's more unique that the Lightning is on the quieter side than it is strange that the Cybertruck is a little bit louder. It's not strange at all. Here we got a Cybertruck here on our left that's wrapped in black. That is the way that I would do it. That matte black to me just looks fantastic. It's got those stealth bomber qualities that I think really lend itself well to the Cybertruck. It's really a flattering look, I think. That all black, that matte look, I just think it looks wicked. So if I were to wrap a Cybertruck, that is the direction I would lean. So that was interesting. It's identifying this as a lane. This is not a lane. I think because of you can see there's a place of separation here in the road, and it thinks that this is a lane, and it's absolutely not a lane. This is not a third lane. You can even see it visualized here on the right-hand side. And now it's going to move over, but this is absolutely not a lane. This is a two-lane highway. So that was super interesting to see it try to figure that out. There are no lane markers that would distinguish that as being a third lane, by the way. But there was a crack, a seam in the asphalt that really made it maybe to the FSD, made it think that it was a lane, but it's definitely not. So that was really interesting to watch happen. And I think this is where it really is going to get the most challenges, is when you're on the surface streets. There's that kind of aggressive acceleration. Not super aggressive, just more aggressive than perhaps the chill mode would be. So yeah, that's where it's interesting to watch these things. Around my neighborhood, there's a roundabout. On this Mission Boulevard, there's a lot of going from 3 lanes to 2 lanes to 3 lanes. I think it'll handle it just fine, by the way, but that was an example back there where all the different things that you can run across on city streets is where it's really going to face the biggest challenges. So hopefully it's accumulating this data, and I know over time it's improving each and every update. So here, some good acceleration. There, the acceleration was great because you did want to accelerate to get in front of the truck behind us as this area of Mission Boulevard goes from 3 lanes down to 2. So you really had a choice there to make, to either let that vehicle get in front of us or to get in front of it. And we saw that with the Model Y, the new Model Y FSD test drive that I did in a previous video. I'll link that here somewhere if you guys want to check that out later. Be sure to see my first experience with FSD, which is in the Model Y refresh. And we saw that there were a couple of occasions where in one instance it made the choice to accelerate ahead of the vehicle to our left, and in another example, when that vehicle was accelerating, it made the choice to slide in behind it. Both of them great choices, as was the case in this instance here. It made the choice that since that vehicle wasn't moving very aggressively, that it was fine for the Cybertruck to get in front of it. So great job and decision by FSD in that case. All right, so we are turning into my neighborhood now, and it took a different turn than I would have taken. It took a road one sooner than I would have into the neighborhood. That must have just been what the GPS told it was the best and most efficient way to go. But here's going to be where we approach a roundabout. I don't suspect it's going to have any difficulty with it, but let's find out. This is definitely an area where we're going to want to pay attention and just make sure it doesn't do anything wonky. There are some different shadows here as the sun starts to dip a little bit here in the west. But again, I don't expect it to be a problem for the Cybertruck at all. And sure enough, it wasn't. Smooth and easy, not an issue at all. So great job with the roundabout. And we're almost home. All right, so we've made it home. Thanks for coming along for our first Cybertruck FSD test drive. We're going to go in and see the family, and then we're going to take an excursion with them and let them try it out. So stay tuned for that one. Be sure to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed watching this, and check out the episode with them so you can see what they think about their first experience with FSD. See you on the next one.